Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and it's good to finally be doing something that's not related to the Z's transmission. Pretty much all I've been doing this year so far in January has been taking the transmission out of the car, changing the clutch and slave cylinder back out, and it was just a ton of work. Hopefully some of you guys were able to take a look at those videos. They're pretty lengthy, but I wanted to make sure I got in all the information for you guys. In this video, as the title suggests, I want to give you guys an update on boosting the 370. For those of you who've been following my channel for some time now, you know that I've been planning on going the forced induction route for some time. And it's looking like I'm finally going to be able to do that here in March. I already have the Supercharger kit that I'm planning on getting picked out. I've been talking to the manufacturer, beginning to make preparations. Those of you have already seen that I've been installing a new clutch and everything on the car, and so that is going to be happening next month. So I want to talk to you guys about the kit that I'm planning on getting, but before we do all of that, I have installed a new exhaust system on the 370, or rather it's partially installed now. For those of you who watched my clutch install video to the end, I gave you guys a little exhaust teaser because I have brand new mufflers now on the 370. You see, the original mufflers that came with the Fast Intentions exhaust that I had, unfortunately did not stick out past the Nismo bumper. So they've kind of been inset a little bit, and it just keeps throwing a bunch of soot and stuff on the bumpers. So I've been trying to get a new set of mufflers for some time now, just to kind of have those tips extended out a little bit further and make it look nicer on the Nismo style bumper. I also opted for a different muffler option this time. You see, the previous set of mufflers that I had from Fast Intentions were the 14-inch mufflers, and now I've decided to go with the 10-inch sport mufflers. These are going to be a little bit louder, a little bit more mean sounding. It'll also mean that I'll get a little more ground clearance because those 14-inch mufflers were the lowest point on the car. I was constantly scraping on them and just beating the crap out of those old polished mufflers. So now hopefully I'll get a little more clearance with these shorter ones and also get a little bit more growl out of the exhaust as well. So let's go ahead and take this thing for a drive and get some sound clips. If you're watching this, your 10-inch mufflers are perfect. Down the window here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely sounds a lot better than the 14-inch mufflers in my opinion. So it is a little bit louder than the 14-inch mufflers, but not too much so. I was really worried that this exhaust was going to be too loud, but I think it's actually perfect. It brings out a little bit more growl from the engine because it's not as muffled. The 10-inch mufflers have a slightly higher pitch than the 14-inch mufflers, which I don't like as much. I did kind of like the lower tone of the 14-inch. But I think the volume is just about perfect. It's not too loud and it doesn't cause a whole lot of drone whenever I'm driving around. So I think overall these are going to be perfect. The extra ground clearance is exactly what I was looking for. They also stick out a little bit more and fit the bumper better, so I won't be shooting any flames into the bumper. I won't be spitting up a ton of exhaust gas up into it as well and just getting it dirty. So overall, I think these were a perfect buy. And this is not the end of my exhaust modification, guys. Those of you who have been keeping up with me on Instagram or have been watching my videos all the way through, you know that I also have a set of long tube headers sitting at the house. I'll be installing those probably in about a week or two. I just need to get some fiberglass heat wrap put on it. That way it's not throwing a ton of heat up into the engine bay. And then I'll probably be installing it in about 2 weeks or so. So make sure you guys subscribe if you want to see that DIY video. I'll also be doing some sound comparisons before and after the long tube header install. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So to get to the point of this video, in terms of which route I want to go, supercharger or turbocharger, obviously since I'm doing long tube headers, you guys should get the hint. I am sticking with the supercharger route. Those of you who watch my turbocharger versus supercharger video, you guys will have a sort of an idea of why I'm sticking with that. Superchargers, in my opinion, are just easier to install. You just can do all the work from up top. You don't have to pull the engine or anything. It means I can maintain my current exhaust system, which I've already put a ton of money in and I really like the sound of, so I don't have to change any of that out. Also, the supercharger, in my opinion, is going to be easier to maintenance. You can get to pretty much everything, whether it be the belt or the blower. It's all right there on the top of the engine. I also like the idea of having a much more even ramp up in the power. Ever since I installed this locking diff that I have in the Z, I've been getting in trouble a couple of times with just hitting the power too aggressively, especially in a corner. It wants to kick out on me. So I really don't need a very quick ramp up in power from a turbocharger as it spools up. So I think the supercharger is really the best route for me. So in terms of which supercharger kit I want to get, for the 370Z, there's really just been 3 of them that have been really popular. The Stilling kit is kind of the standard one. You can actually take this to any sort of Infiniti or Nissan dealer and have them install it on your 370 or your G37. It's CARB legal inside California. So that's a pretty good kit to get, especially if you're living in the California area. That's not really the one I'm looking at though. The other 2 of them that are really popular, RGM Manufacturing recently released a Whipple style supercharger kit for these cars. Giant blower sticking out of the hood. Looks really aggressive, has a ton of power. And then there's the Top Guns kit, which is a ProCharger style, and in the past it actually was a revision to the Stilling kit. It used their exact same blower, their 9-pound pulley. It also used their intake manifold, and it just produced a lot more power because essentially what Aaron had done was he took it and he added an air-to-air conversion on it. He added an intercooler. This helps cool the intake temperatures down and helps you bring up the power. Do I want to get the RGM Manufacturing kit? Not really. I'm not looking to have a giant Whipple supercharger sticking up out of the hood. Personally, I kind of want to keep this a little more low-key, and I don't think I need the ridiculous amount of power that those kits are promising, plus you have to cut through the hood, and I really don't want to deal with all that. So I am sticking with Top Gun's kit. Now, what's exciting is that the kit that I'm going to be getting is not the same one that Aaron has been selling for the past 2 or 3 years. He's actually been working on a new revision to this kit that is going to promise higher horsepower numbers, better ease of installation, easier to maintenance. What he's done is, instead of using the Stilling manifold and the water-cooled method that thing comes with, he's using the stock OEM manifold on the car, and this is advantageous in a couple of ways. The stock manifold is plastic, so you don't worry about heat soak as much as you do with the metal manifold that was the Stilling one. It's half the reason why it had to be water-cooled in the first place. It also means that because you're doing a true dual intake setup, you don't have to extend your MAF sensors. The MAF extensions were always known to go bad, so now you're just going to be able to use the stock harnesses that were already there, and it should be able to plug in just fine. These newer pipings are also upgraded to 3 inches in diameter. You don't have to worry about the MAFs maxing out if you have up rev or anything like that. He's integrated a larger intercooler for better cooling in case you want to go up for higher horsepower numbers. He's already shown some dyno results, and on 93 octane pump gas, they were able to get well over 500 horsepower. I think the numbers were around 525 to the wheels, which has been my goal this entire time. With his old kit, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to hit those numbers fairly easily, but now with the upgraded kit with the 9-pound pulley that he's got, I'm easily going to be able to make those numbers. So I'm super excited for this, guys. I didn't think I was actually going to be able to make my 500 horsepower number, at least not off the bat, not out of the box. So I'm really glad to hear that he's been working with this kit a little bit. I'm excited to see what this thing eventually looks like when I get it on the car. It's going to be so much easier to install as well. I've been planning on doing the DIY video for this, so being able to install it in under 8 hours is going to be pretty great. In terms of preparation that I still have left, I already have installed the new clutch. You guys should have seen that video already. The only other thing I really have left to do is I need to install a new fuel pump. For the fuel pump, I'm probably going to be looking at about 350 to 400 liters per hour, something like that. The guy that they've been testing the kit on was using a 400 liter per hour Walboro fuel pump, I believe it was. I might end up going for something similar to that. I think that's really the only last preparation that I have. I'll be installing those new long tube headers, so stay tuned for that. Those should be the next couple of videos. And then that should be it. So that is really it for this video, guys. Super excited for this build. I never thought I would be able to actually boost a car. It was a big dream of mine even back in my Need for Speed days when I was like a teenager and wasn't even driving yet. I never thought I'd be able to do a build like this. So I'm super stoked. Cannot wait to get this thing installed. If you're not a subscriber already, hit that subscribe button down below. You can also hit that little bell icon to stay up to date on when I'm uploading videos, and you guys can follow all the DIYs and stuff that I'm going to be doing. You can also follow me on Instagram. I have been posting once a week there, but I'm trying to do it more often now to kind of keep you guys more up to date and just kind of show you some of my random adventures and things. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Later.